Howdy, Graz back. Uh, just did a fun video with my Holy Grails, so go check that out if you want to. Um, Also, last time I forgot, so I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna not get it out of the way, but I'm gonna say it first this time. Thank you to everyone who watches us, and likes and comments and interacts. I love the interactions. They really are. Everybody's really are telling the truth when when they say that the community is what's most important and the best thing about BookTube, because it really is. Well, today I am going to do my wishful list for November. These are the books that I'm hopefully going to be able to get through and read. Really sorry if you can hear that in the background. Our moron of a neighbor is jamming around the property line and around our house with his four-wheeler. And trust me, he does it just to annoy us. So before I get going, death to all goths. I'm just kidding. If any of you are a goth, I don't mean you. I just mean the neighbors. Anyway, here we go. First book for November is called Interred with Their Bones by Jennifer Lee Carroll. I don't normally read blurbs on the back. I like to go into books with just the cover and what it says on the cover. So I'm guessing this is about William Shakespeare, because he's right there. It's a pretty cool cover though. Shakespeare and a skull and the fire and stuff. It looks like it's going to be very mysterious. So, Interred with Their Bones, Jennifer Lee Carroll is there. Okay. Now I'm a throwback. I like to watch older shows. My favorite TV show ever is Andy Griffith, The Andy Griffith Show. Right up there with that is Leave It to Beaver. And on Leave It to Beaver, Beaver, at one point, reads Ivanhoe. And I've never read that. So I'm going to read Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott. Tales of heroism and knighthood and stuff. And this is from... It just goes right into it. Sorry. Can't read with my glasses on. These are for distance. This edition is from 1964, so that's pretty neat. Ivanhoe is really old though, so I'm definitely going to read that. Then I'm going to jump into The Terror by Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons is a fantastic author. As some of you may know if you've watched my earlier videos, our book club is reading Summer of Night right now, and we're almost done with that. But yeah, I've heard a lot about this. I know it's a TV show, and I want to, obviously, see what all the fuss is about. So Dan Simmons, The Terror. Looks like a boat is stuck. It's on AMC, so you know the TV show is probably pretty good because AMC puts out really good quality TV. No sarcasm. So there's that. And then I don't know if you've caught on yet, but I live in Michigan. I'm a baseball fan, so my darling wife found me this recently, and I'm going to read this. Willie Horton, The People's Champion by Kevin Allen, with a foreword by Al Kaline, Mr. Tiger himself. Yeah, but Willie Horton. There's actually a funny story in my past about Willie Horton that I'll tell real quick. when I was in high school, I wasn't quite so educated. Not that I am now. I'm not educated. I'm smart. I've read a lot, so I catch on. But I don't have any fancy degrees or anything. But anyway, when I was in high school, I was a bit of a moronic punk, and I only knew baseball and eating and girl watching. But I was in a current affairs, or not current, but some, like, a class like that, but it talked about all kinds of things. And the teacher brought up Willie Horton. And he said, does anybody here know who Willie Horton is? My hand shot up so fast I almost hurt myself. And he was so shocked when he called on me because I had never risen my hand. I just like to be not noticed. I liked to disappear. So it was the first time. And I told him about this Willie Horton, the one that I knew about. And he laughed at me, and the class laughed at me. Because come to find out, the Willie Horton he wanted to talk about was the one that was in the riots in '68. Or something like that. I still really don't fully know who the other Willie Horton is, but needless to say, I never raised my hand again. You don't laugh at a kid. But anyway, Willie Horton was on the '68 Tigers with Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline. And that was the year that one of the years that they did win one of their, what is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4 titles? Yeah, I think it's 4. And so I'm going to read this. I'm very excited to learn more about Willie Horton, the real one, to me. Okay. Then we're going to read another nonfiction book, because I just want to scare the crap out of myself in November. Helter Skelter by Vincent Bugliosi with Kurt Gentry. The true story of the Manson murders. This should be interesting. I'm not going to say fun, because books like this are never really fun. They're not, they don't get you going that way, but it's going to be fascinating to read about this, because it says on the front it was written by the district attorney who put it all together. And there's going to be, it says 64-page photographic record of the victims, the killers, and the evidence. So there's going to be some photos in here that I'm probably not going to want to look at. So this is on the tab for November. Found this at a bookstore recently. I'm going to be doing possibly a book acquisition. We'll see. We spent quite a bit of money at the bookstore, and there's so many books that it might be like really long. But I found this, and I know I've heard some bad things from certain people, but I wanted to read it. It's Wicked by Gregory. Sorry, I almost said Jerry Maguire. Duh. Gregory Maguire. And it's the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West. And this has been turned into, from what I understand, a really good musical. So I'll probably read the book and then see who else wants to read it in our club, and then try and see a recording of the musical. So that'll be fun. And then my mom found this at, I can't remember, Jelly Beans or the Salvation Army. And she bought it for me because I was reading the Lovecraft book. And it's called Lovecraft's Monsters. And it's edited by Ellen Datlow. And it's basically a bunch of other authors that are writing stories about Lovecraft's monsters. And on the front, it says, some of the names are Neil Gaiman, Joe R. Lansdale. Those are the only 2 names I know right now. But some of the other ones are Caitlin R. Kiernan, Gemma Files, Elizabeth Bear, Laird Barron, Kim Newman, Nick Mamadas, Howard Waldrop, Carl Edward Wagner, and it says, and many others. And this dude on the cover here is just nightmare fuel. I don't know if you can see him good, but it says on the back, like I said, it's because it's short stories and I'm already looking at it. Great Cthulhu, Deep Ones, Elder Things, Azathoth, ghouls, hounds of Tyndalos, the King in Yellow, Shoggoths. Shoggoths are probably the worst. Serpent people, Shub Nagurath. Do you dare? Well, in the month of giving thanks for Americans, I dare. And then the other book that I'm guaranteed to read next month, just to lighten it up a bit, because, you know, there's a lot of seriousness and severity in those books there, is going to be a Jackie Collins trash crap novel called Hollywood Kids. Now, we've all heard of Jackie Collins, I'm sure. She writes just romance and sex and blah. But I'm going to read this just to lighten my mood. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll get through all that, considering how well I did in October, which you will find out soon. So I've got some other books here that are, you know, if I have time books. The first one is Unsolved Crimes. I'm sorry. The giant book of Unsolved Crimes, edited by Roger Wilkes. The best collection of murder and mystery cases ever published, it says. So this could be interesting. And it's just got true crimes in it. And it's just going to be... And I'm sure that my wife AJ is really going to want to read this eventually too, because she loves true crime. That's all well, that's half of what she watches on TV. The other half is game shows. Yeah. I'm playing. I whenever I come out and sit down with her, we watch them. But this is going to be fun. This is the first If I Have Time book. And you'll notice If I Have Time books are going to be huge. And then Penny Dreadfuls, compiled by Stefan Zemianowicz. Probably got that wrong. But Penny Dreadfuls. These were penny books from the 1800s, I think. And you'd get one, and it would have like the tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know, stuff like that. And so I'm really looking forward to reading some of this. And actually, it's on the back. It says "Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde," so that's in here. So, and there's 20 of them in here from the Victorian era. So that's going to be fun. And then finally, and I doubt I'll get through all that, but if I do, I have a book that I heard about from Michael K. Vaughan. It is called The Black Lizard Big Book of Black Mask Stories, the greatest crime fiction from the legendary magazine. It is edited and with a foreword by Otto Penzler, and it's got Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett, Cornell Woolrich, and much, much more. And this cover is just all the cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to reading this big beast of a thing. Look at those. Look at that. That right there. So that is November. And I know you're probably thinking, well, I'm guessing that you're probably thinking, boy, he picked a lot to read in the month of November. Well, a little spoiler for October. I read every book that I wanted to read. I read all of my If I Have Time books, except for Moonbog. And I even read 2 additional zombie novels. So, kind of gave me some confidence for this month. Yeah. Let's see. How about an unpopular opinion to finish us off? With my wife AJ in mind, as popular as it is, pumpkin spice ain't all that. It really isn't. I mean, basically, it's juice of a squash. So, enjoy. And read more.